As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about self-defense, particularly for women, especially with regard to the situations that we've been facing recently. And my first guest is Roger Eveling, head of Treatments Protocols Institute of Human Performance,
Correct, that's right.
Vice President of Policy and Development. And with you is Olayemi Mashama,
Yes.
a Master Trainer, National Security Training Academy, and President of Trinidad and Tobago Jiu-Jitsu Federation. And with you, you've brought your sister,
Yes.
Ayodele, who is going to be your, she's
gonna
going to be the
beating me
person,
up.
she's
Yeah,
going to beat you up?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, we'll see, we'll see. So I will start with you, Roger, because we were chatting offline yesterday, you know, and you were saying that most persons tend to focus on frontal assault, and you know, women tend to need to be trained for
From a holistic standpoint.
Correct.
So
Explain.
we look at side response, frontal response, rear response, but a critical factor and component is also our ground defense. And these are the things that we really want in part to make our women be more aware and enlightened on how we're going to be sharing this information and making them become more complete person in dealing with a hostile situation, because violence has been evolving. Women need to adapt to these evolving violent situations.
Yes, and before we go into the demonstration, when we were chatting, Olayemi, you also spoke about some of the other, you know, things that women can use, which you know have been in the public domain, things like pepper spray and so on. Talk, because you're part of the team
That's doing that training for national security. The reality is that yes, pepper spray is a tool that could be used, but my biggest thing with it is that we must be able to understand that you must train. It's not just about taking a pepper spray and spraying it.
Yeah.
The reality is you have to be able to defend the pepper spray so that it cannot be taken and used against you also.
Right.
So one of the things I like to tell with our system that we do, we break it down to an art, the acronym ART. And the ART acronym goes both ways. It goes to the person who is doing the personal safety defense, and also understanding how you could change the reaction of the criminal or the person attacking you. So A stands for attitude. The females, so the women in our society, one of the biggest lies that has been told is that they are the weaker sex, which is totally, I mean, I think women know that, but they know, and men need to understand that they are not the weaker sex. So it's about understanding from changing your attitude as the female from that of prey to predator.
Right.
And changing the criminal's attitude to understanding that he's not dealing with an ordinary woman at this point in time. Because he will come with the big alpha male perception when he's coming at you. But then you must, with your first technique or your first strike, you must change his mind. Women have to understand that the responsibility, that's what the R is yours. To be able to train yourself to get there. I always tell people, you know, one of the things I let women say before we start classes, I will train like my life depends on it, because it does. Get your mind in the game to understand that's your responsibility also to do what is necessary.
Yes.
And then make the criminal understand that there's always responsibility for your actions. So when I deal with you, you will understand it was not easy. Initiation coming into here, I'm going to deal with you, say shucks, there's something that I'm responsible for now. Shock them into that reality. And then the T stands for trust. Trust in yourself as females. Trust in your instincts. Your instincts normally tell you what is happening. You feel it when you are in the environment. Trust in that instinct. And then the criminal would understand to trust and believe in moving forward that, here's what, let's leave these women alone in society because they are fighting back, and no longer, they are not easy prey.
Targets.
They are not easy targets.
Yeah.
They have to understand now that, hey, the criminals must become the prey.
Yeah.
Not the predators.
Yeah. So let's see some of the techniques that you want to demonstrate. So we get Ayodele.
Ayodele, yes.
Ayodele.
Yes, so this is Ayodele Mashama, my sister. We grew up together. You could imagine an interesting house. Everybody's martial artist. So she's also a hairdresser. So the techniques are based on, some techniques, some people do techniques that look very flashy.
Yes.
The reality is you want something that the everyday person could grasp easily. So one of the first techniques we're going to do is for a throat grab to the front. And we're going to kind of break it down slow so that you could see what is happening.
And when you say throat grab, this is as if somebody is coming to her throat. Right.
So, you know, sometimes I just grab your throat. So they grab your throat, break the, strike to the face, strike, and break the knee. Simple. So I'm going to slow it down for you to see now.
Yes, you need to do that.
So when I grab, she's going to break the grab.
Yeah.
She's going to break the grab. She's then going to elbow either to the eyes, the nose, or the chin, which is a high-risk striking area. She's going to follow up with her next elbow, which is normally the knockout strike. Then she's going to knee to the ground. And then she's going to break the knee, pushing me off, and then she's going to create distance.
That's good.
Because the reality is, you don't want to stay in the environment. You do what you need to do, and you get out of the environment.
Okay. So how much damage would she have done by doing that? In other words, the criminal is now on the ground. Would she have him hurt so much that he would be able to? She would be able to run.
Run.
Yeah.
So we're going to break it down. The body is breaking down into 3 basic striking areas: primary, secondary, and high risk. Primary striking areas are anywhere on the arms and the legs, excluding the elbows and the knees. Secondary striking areas will cover areas like the outer back, those kind of areas, the legs, the knees, the elbows, those more bony areas. And then the high-risk areas is what could cause serious damage. So she targeted the high-risk area first, which was the head.
Okay.
So you realize she did 3 strikes more or less to the head. After she broke it, that was an elbow to the eye, nose, which will cause some serious damage because it may look simple, but I feel I'll have a black eye by the end, and it looked very simple. It is hurting at this time. So strike that. Chin, very easy knockout point. Okay. It's an easy knockout point, strikes to the chin. So she targeted that, strike to the chin. This could do the damage as you want. Of course, the groin, which falls under high-risk striking areas also. And then she's going, so the push would have been, come here, just wait. When this knee, this strike, it was actually pushing towards the knee. So it's going to lock the ankle and everything here, and she's going to follow through on the knee.
Right.
So that's going to disable him now from being able to.
So recovery will give, the recovery time is so long.
She would have already.
Time to run.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what we need to understand. Every technique you want to create that distance. So the first technique she did, of course, is what caused my change. Oh, this is not it's not an easy target.
Right.
I've changed that.
Okay, so let's look at a second one right now.
So we're going to do one for a choke from behind. So we're going to break it down. The first thing she wants to do is grab the area of the right the wrist and the elbow. She's going to drop her weight while pulling down on it. So she's using her weight to give her that extra strength because you might be stronger. Pulling down on it. She's going to turn inward, which is locking my elbow here. And doing that, she's now going to strike again to the chin, knee to the groin, right? And in moving, she's going to release in moving. She's going to be now hitting me a hammer fist behind my neck, which will create this movement forward, and then she's going to create distance or kick or whatever she wants to do after that. So we're going to break it down slowly again. So there is something called resistive tension recognition. What she's actually doing when she grabs here is feeling where my weak point is on this technique. So when she grabs and she pulls down, she knows that the weak point is here. She's going to drop, turn inward. This is causing this locking. So my wrist area, my shoulder area and elbow area is locked. She's going to strike, right? She could do a neck strike again to the knee, kick to the face, strike the back of the neck, and create
So
this
I
thing.
have a question. She's striking with her left hand.
Right.
If I'm not a left-hander.
It doesn't matter. So if you come this way, so if she grabs and she turns, when she turns here, she could change from right here and strike this way with the elbow.
Okay.
So it's still, the technique works any which way. What we want you to do is move with your natural reaction.
Okay.
She still has control of my arm, so I can't really do nothing, and she strikes. Keep in mind that these techniques are not going to be done slow.
Right.
We're just breaking it down so that you can have an idea.
Yeah.
These techniques are actually going to be done in real time.
I have a question.
Sure.
This is assuming that the criminal is not reacting because you are not reacting.
No, this is not assuming that. The criminal is going to be reacting.
Right.
Because in reality,
Because right now you are not reacting.
I am just not reacting for you all to see.
To see. So there,
but even
there
if
might
I am
be a
reacting,
struggle.
if I am struggling and she pull it now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
struggling, go it is for real, go for real. Yeah, so if you try to come again, she's going to continue striking.
Okay.
The reality is she knows what it's to continue fighting.
Right.
Don't make yourself an easy target.
Okay.
So she's going to continue striking.
Okay.
So whichever way it go, you're going to be getting strikes. She knows she's going to be targeting high-risk areas throughout.
Okay. And if you're trained, you have the confidence to
To do it.
continue. Right.
So in
Okay.
our program, one of the first things we deal is mindset of the woman.
Okay.
Before we go into the techniques, we go into mindset. So you understand you must not have that victim mentality at all.
Let's do a third one.
Right,
I think
so
we have
third
some
one.
time for a third one. Yeah.
So we're going to do one grab from the grab here,
Yeah.
right? So move forward a bit. So
And
they
I
like
want
to come.
get in, I
grab,
want us to get one.
on the
for
ground.
floor.
We'll
Yeah.
do one ground after. So grab from the here, go. So I'm going to be pulling. She's going to turn, pull, floor, kick, stamp to the ground, continue. And she's going to run.
Yeah.
Get out.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You must understand, some people teach you and have you believing that in the fight you're not going to get any problems. The reality is when I grab her here, for her to turn, she is going to feel some pain. Which pain you rather? Be dragged into a vehicle by your hair or fight back and escape? We'll deal with that after. We could buy back the braids and stuff and thing and we could good to go. So let me do one ground because I know you want to see that.
Yes.
So the ground is not going to start on the ground, right? It will start standing. So most of the time, come a little closer, the person is going to try to push you to the ground. You're not going to fight it. You're not going to fight it. So I'm pushing down to the ground. You're going to go with it. Wait, right. So I'm going to slow it down. Right, I'm going to slow it down now. What just happened is as I'm going, she's falling. She dropped her weight. She's going back. She's in control, but slow. I'm feeling I'm in control. She's going to place her heels on the inside of my hip. So she's rocking back. So as I'm coming here, I thinking I'm in control. Watch what's happening. She push up. And then she's in charge from here. Slap to the ears, whatever. She could kick while she's moving out and create a distance. The trick is getting the person not to come. You don't want this to happen. Go back. I don't want this to happen. That is reality.
That's it. Once
I
you
don't
get
want
there.
this.
Yeah.
So, as she rocks back, this heel, she's going to push the heel in my hip area. Because if I'm trying to rape her or whatever, guess what? I need my hip to move forward.
Right.
So I think I'm control here, and she's going to just push out.
Right.
This is something anybody could do. The reality is, you rock back, push out, strike whatever, create the distance, get out of the area.
Yeah. So, you know, these are some techniques that you're showing here, and there's several others.
Several
So
others.
the advice is to get the women into the training.
Yes.
How can they get access to this training?
Well, I am actually part of an organization also that Roger and I are now, he's coming on board called Safe Her TT. And what we plan to do, because a lot of martial artists are jumping out and teaching self-defense classes. One thing I want to advise the women of our country, please check out the credentials of the persons that you're going to. Not everybody are really martial artists. And not because you are a black belt means that you could teach personal safety and self-defense. That's one. Or we can be contacted at, my number is 749-0161, or Roger.
0873.
So we could be
And
contacted.
you're part, you were telling me you're part with the Ministry of National Security as
Yes,
well? Yeah?
I am responsible. I'm attached to the Department of Combat Sciences at the National Security Training Academy. Our job is to train national security in general in all the areas that deal with fighting arts. So we do baton, handcuffing, pepper spray, taser training. We saw the need for it. We saw the need for it to train national security first so that they are able to increase and become raise the level to the first world.
Yeah.
So that's what we do up there. We are responsible. We have trained for last year alone over 400 and something persons from national security on the whole. And we continue to do it. And we also do lectures and stuff in personal safety for organizations who are interested. I could give you the information so they could contact us
Okay.
to get training from that angle also.
Well, I really want to thank you for coming in and sharing this bit of information of empowerment. I see it as empowering women out there. And thank you for being a good sport this morning. And, you know, we really want to empower women.
Yes.
It's really about that. We have
Yes,
to
yes.
do something about it. And thank you, Roger Evelyn,
Yeah.
Olayemi Mashama, and Ayodele Mashama. And we're going to take in a few messages and continue right here on the Now Morning Show after this.